Hey guys, today we'll be making a super easy, poofy, curly, fall deco mesh wreath. What you will need: I have a 14-inch wreath ring, 6-inch deco mesh in various colors, Chanel stems, and scissors or a rotary cutter. Alright, let's get started. So you can also use a wreath ring that already has the stems attached, but today I'm going to show you how to attach your own stems to a plain wreath ring. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is place our stems. I have cut my stems in half, and I'm going to alternate between the inner two rings. So outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, all the way around the ring. So I'll just place my stem and twist it a couple of times. Just like that. Do it again for the inner ring. And then come back to the outer ring. So it's just like that. Outer, inner, outer. So the next section is going to be inner, outer, inner. And I just alternate all the way around the ring. You could use a full stem and connect around the outer two, inner two, outer two, inner two if you choose to do so. Whichever you prefer. I've done it both ways. It just depends on the type of wreath that I'm making. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of these stems in place and then we'll start adding our mesh. Alright, so I have all of my stems in place. Now we're going to start adding our mesh. And I'm going to layer my mesh, the striped mesh on top of the solid orange mesh. You can choose whatever colors to layer that you prefer, but I think it's just going to be so cute and precious. Fold it to a nice little point. And I like to start on the outer ring, and I'm going to go from one outer stem to the next outer stem, all the way around on the outer stems only. And then we'll come back around and repeat the same steps on the inner stems. So place my mesh, twist it a couple of times. And the stems do move, so if you want it more stable, you can twist it around two rings if you choose. But once you get more mesh in place, it's going to be more stable, so don't worry about it too much. Make a poof. Place your mesh in the next outer stem and twist it a couple of times. Now the size of the poof, that is completely up to you. You can make it as large or as small as you'd like for it to be. You can even measure the size of the poofs, but I just estimate. Alright, make another poof and to the next outer stem. And I'm just going to continue repeating this step all the way around the outer ring. Making my poof, scrunching, placing it in the stem, and twisting a couple of times. But we're not going to tuck away our stems just yet, because once we get all the base mesh in place, we're going to add more mesh to each section. Alright, so I'm coming back to my starting stem. I'm just going to make one more poof and place it in my starting stem. And then I'm just going to cut away the excess mesh. And just tuck it away. Once you get all the mesh in place, it's not going to be visible. Alright, so that's my outer layer. And I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the inner ring. Okay, coming back to my starting point, place my mesh, twist it a couple of times, and tuck it away. Now we're going to add more mesh to each of our bundles. Alright, so I've cut the rest of my mesh into 8-inch long pieces. What I'm going to do is roll some of my mesh at a diagonal and some of it at a cute little curl, and I'm going to add it to each of my stems. For the yellow, I think I'll go with a diagonal. And the orange as well. And then my striped piece will be in a cute little curl. And I'm just crisscrossing all of my pieces to make sure they're all visible. And then just scrunch it in the center. Find my stem and place my mesh. Twist it a couple of times and then tuck it away, because I'm not going to add any more mesh to that stem. And I alternate which pieces I have curled, which pieces I have pointed, just to give it a different look. And I'm going with 3 pieces of mesh in each bundle. You can definitely go with more if you choose to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of my mesh placed on my inner ring, and then I'll place mesh on the outer ring. Alright, so I have the inner ring complete. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps on the outer ring. Alright, so I have all of my mesh in place. I'm just fluffing and flaring out my layers. Now you can, since this is double layer, you can separate the layers if you choose to do so. I do that sometimes, and sometimes I leave it layered. I think this time I'm going to leave it layered because it's so cute and precious. And just fluff up and flare out your mesh. Again, you can add as much or as little mesh as you prefer. You can add an adorable sign to the center, any other type of embellishment you'd like. I think it's so cute and precious just like this. So I think I'm going to finish up here. But it's so cute, simple, and easy to make. Modify the color, the style, add in any additional embellishments you prefer.